Welcome back.
We're back.
Season 2, episode 1. And a new spot here. We got a little upgrade, so
Trenton's been putting that work in, if you can't tell.
yeah, we're
It's a beautiful spot. I mean, we're sitting pretty. I mean, this chair is real leather, boys. Real leather.
we're sparing no expense here at Fortune Favors the Bald. So we're excited for the year. We wanted to kind of get in, talk about last year, do a little recap, and then talk about the future and this year and how we're gonna do. So let's jump right in. Colby, hey, big winner.
Yep.
Congratulations. It was a well-deserved win. I can honestly say not many people expected it. But we do have a little bone to pick with you, Colby.
Yeah. So one, I want to congratulate you on your victory. Right. You managed your team. You just crushed everybody at the end. You had that CD Dak Prescott stack that
unbelievable.
It went wild on us. But let's get to the important stuff.
What's that?
Colby, you had the prime opportunity to diss every single one of us. And we can't say anything. What are we going to say to the guy that just whooped our butts?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But where's the video? You know? Oh, I'm too busy. BS, bro.
Yeah.
Find the time.
That's right. And if it's not a video, we started this last year, so we kind of expect things to be more digital, get a video. It's a good laugh for everybody, but like at least a text.
Yeah.
Like that's what we've done in the past, us champions. You have two right here. We've sent, multi-paragraph text. Jared's done it twice. So we're just kind of wondering, where that's at. And
for the past 3 months, I woke up every morning like, oh man, do I have a text of Colby roasting me? Because I was wanting it. Like eventually I get to the point where I'm wanting that text of him just like ripping me a new one, like celebrating his victory. Because boy, do we think Colby's getting another one? No, he lucked into 2.
Not with his team.
Saying? Not with his team. Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, but and another thing is, yes, I look forward to it as a learning opportunity. Like what am I going to get roasted on that I need to work on next year?
Right.
And that's helped me win a championship.
Yeah.
Was the previous year I got roasted. I forgot what it was for. Maybe it was for not going as top heavy. I went top heavy next year.
I remember what it was for. You saved like $30 or $40.
That's what it was.
You were like your roster's filled and you have $30 or $40 sitting on the side of that.
Still made the championship.
Yeah,
but,
and you still made that championship.
Yeah, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So we asked you, the league, various questions. We wanted to hear your thoughts. Who had the best team? Who had the worst team? Thoughts on the league commissioner drama.
Ooh, that's big. That is big,
which
boys.
we'll get into that later as well. But another thing we wanted to talk about, kind of how you did in the draft. We just had our draft a week ago, and we wanted to see how what your honest thoughts are.
And me and Trenton didn't submit videos, I think, because we were just going to talk about it live here. You get our live thoughts. I think it comes out smoother.
Yeah.
So Trenton first, before we show the video, how did you think you did? Leaving draft night, how did you feel?
Yeah. So leaving draft night, it wasn't great. I was really worried. I really wanted Trey McBride. I'll go ahead and say that. Cody swooped up 6 tight ends.
Cody Strat.
So I was a little disappointed in that, and I looking back at my team, it's like I don't have a lot of top heavy, and that's a little concerning. But my depth is top notch. So I'm really excited about that. Every day that passes, I'm like, okay, I'll have to make some pretty good managerial moves to figure out who to bench and who to start.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's pretty solid.
Okay, so if you're predicting right now, where do you finish in the league?
Right now, I don't think I win a championship. I'm gonna be straight up. That's depth isn't gonna win you a championship because you can't play every player. Now, if there's some key injuries, maybe later on, maybe make some good trades. But right now, no, it's not a championship team. So I say still top half. I'm gonna say
so you make playoffs.
I still make playoffs. Okay. I'm gonna say I finish 4th, 5th.
4th, 5th. That's not a bad finish.
Yeah.
The competition level in this league has really taken up a notch too.
Absolutely.
We used to have people spending $50 on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Cole took, how many years has he been in? He took 4 years of seasoning. I think he's figured it out.
I think he has too.
But it took Cole a few years. So you really had 2 people that you kind of count on, like bottom dwellers. Okay. Then you got the Dex in there.
Of course.
So each year, what's that kid's name that never spoke?
I think it was Adam.
And so now you look at who we've got. And it's 12 guys that they know their football.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they grind in the waiver wires. They're grinding the research.
Absolutely.
It's a research driven league.
Absolutely. So it's exciting because, preseason, other than keepers, you get some really good keepers. You had some great keepers, I think. It's anybody's game. You can, especially with this auction draft that we do, there's 12 guys here that have a good idea how to draft a good team, and anybody can win. So, yeah, I agree. So how do you feel about your team? We kind of mentioned it.
Okay.
We'll get into the video later, but how do you
I'll
feel?
be honest, I had a glow to me.
Yeah.
Like, I thought all the cards were lining up for me. It started with my 2 keepers, okay? And I could talk about this for hours, so please stop me, because you know how I get about
Breece
my team.
Hall and A-Chain.
Breece Hall and A-Chain.
Yeah.
And then it just like the Lord just shined his light upon me that night. He was like, he gave me clarity that I haven't had in a while. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the past few years I've been through the hills and valleys, right? Yeah. Like I've been down in the valleys, but I'm on that mountaintop now, baby.
All right.
As long as I stay healthy, I feel good about my team.
Yeah.
Now I think there's some teams that can compete with me. I'm not saying I'm a shoe in for the championship. I'm just saying.
Who would you say is your biggest competition?
Biggest competition? I think Paul's got a good team.
Paul does.
I like Paul's team. I am really top heavy. If I have an injury,
that's true.
My depth is not there. Cole, who's watching the waiver wire like a freaking hawk, has been calling me out about me just picking up all these handcuffs.
Yeah.
I mean, he was right. I needed police officers.
That's right.
Kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
I was doing that. But I don't know what. Cole's just sitting at that nursing home.
He's tired of sitting at the bottom.
He's telling this little lady to do some kick outs. While he's on his phone watching watching the waiver wire. So.
All right. Well,
but yeah, I feel good. I think it's going to be a competitive league. I'm excited to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll jump right in then and hear your thoughts on this, and we'll just kind of get into good insight of what how the league feels. So just sit back and enjoy it.
I can't say I feel great. I was working, doing it online with a source at a school for the most of the time, so didn't quite pay a ton of attention. Also very frustrating that every time I bid on somebody, everybody jumps on a slow bid and all of a sudden it heats up. So a little disappointed in that way.
Overall, I think my team's okay. I've definitely felt worse about my drafts in the past, or some of them. The app's got me at like the number 2 spot right now, which I think is just bullshit. Like, it's not a number 2 team, but not the worst team either.
I thought it went pretty good. I'm in a pretty prime position to make some plays. Got a little hero running back. I like my players. Don't really have a tight end. Gonna make some trades for that because I have so much depth everywhere else.
I don't love my team. I think that I got some good values during the draft, and that it filled out well, my starting lineup anyway, and that I'm a bit shallow, but I have several rookies on my bench with upside. So we'll see how it goes.
It's perfect. Drafting 3 tight ends was the strat. Everybody has already talked to me about trading. I can get a really nice running back, get a really nice wide receiver. I can get anybody. Anyone in the league is mine.
I'm going to go Colby, but I'm going to throw out that I do not think Colby's going to get last. Colby works the waiver wire pretty good, and he also, always manages to work some trades too. So I think he'll be okay, but right now his team is concerning.
Leah, I'm thirsty. Worst team? That's got to be... Oh, thank you, baby.
Is this okay?
Yeah, that just Rhino will do. Thank you. That's good. All right, so let's get back into it. Worst team, best team? Well, Colby, like usual, is going to have the worst team. San Fran. It's not looking very good for old Colby. He just gets lucky. That's the only reason he's the other 2-time.
I'm sure most people are going to say Colby is going to have the worst team. I'm going to go off on a limb and say Jamaica has the worst team. You're welcome, Jamaica. You're probably going to win the league now.
I want to say Wirt just because he was ugly to me this week and he didn't come to volleyball, but it's not Wirt. And Wirt hyped up my strat, so it's not Wirt. I would have to say it's Jemike. I've heard a lot of people say that his team's good, but I just don't believe it.
My gut would tell me to say Cole based on past performance, but I've actually heard that he didn't have a bad draft. So I will go with who I would think is my next worst team based on my gut feeling, and that would be Colby. I don't think that needs an explanation.
A guy that's life is fantasy football. I'm going Colby, and you can feel in the draft, nervous, angry, just bad team, bad all the way around. A lot of prep for just, just a shitty team. It's got to be Colby.
Luke's team, Cole for himself, I mean, that's the best team he's ever drafted. So it kind of depends on what you mean best, like personal best or like league best.
Jemike and Luke. I'm going to go with those two Sewells. I think they got the best teams. They got several higher end players that I'd want to have on my team. Kind of hard to go wrong.
It's probably Luke's. He was basically jerking himself off at the draft. He thought it was so good. Everyone else was like, oh my God, Luke's team. So I guess Luke's got the best team.
I know I said I wasn't too happy with my draft, but there's a lot that can change between now and the end of the season, and it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish in this league. So I'm gonna say with myself, we're gonna get a dub with this bad drafted team.
I'm going Luke. Busy with the campaign, haven't had time to look at people's teams, but just off the top of the dome, I think Luke. He's got Tyreek Hill, dude's broken. Breece Hall's pretty good, I hear. And this is Luke's life. I mean, he grinds fantasy football year round. He deserves it. I hope he gets a dub this year. It's honestly just pathetic that he hasn't won more than he has. The amount of research he does is just off the charts crazy.
I think this one's obvious. It would be Cody. Don't think I need to say why.
I think there's an obvious answer to this question, but I'm going to go against the grain a little bit, and I'm going to say Dan, because I think at this point I've made one too many jokes about my girl Anna, and I really think that Dan would be pretty insufferable if he were to date really like anybody in my family. So I'll pass on that.
Absolutely Cody. No, Cody.
Don't want any libs dating my daughter. So Jemike and Colby are out. Wirt's a foreigner. Not really big on that sort of thing. So he's out. Cody's out for obvious reasons. Who else would I not want dating my daughter? Cole's got a secret girth hog. I don't want him dating my daughter. I think who would be the number one? I think the number one person I wouldn't want dating my daughter is like Luke, Paul, or Jemike, because they're my cousin.
The daughter question's weird for me, so I'm gonna skip that one. I don't think I'd let anybody date her. Sorry.
Jemike, big lib, just wouldn't want to deal with my grandkids chopping their dicks off. I mean, if I even had any grandkids, I'd probably get aborted. Dan, I mean, obvious reasons. Genetics, just bad genetics. Bald, short, hairy, gross, bad gambler. Jared, it took 5 years, 6 years to ask Leah to marry him. I mean, figure it out, dude. It doesn't take that long. I could go on and on, but I think I'm losing votes, so that's my top three.
Besides the obvious cousin or brother, and then also everyone knows we wouldn't want Cody to date our daughter. But other than that, if we're asking anybody else in the league, I don't want someone that would leave her and then come back to her, because who wants that type of person? And the only person that I think of that would leave and then try and come back and just keep stringing her along would be Matthew Wirt.
I don't know. Paul's been kind of quiet. Paul's like the career like politician. He hasn't really done much. He's kind of lining his pockets. Wirt's like that new gunner, Trump type guy saying a bunch of shit that doesn't really make sense, like a Biden-Trump mix. But like he's the new guy. Like obviously what's been going on hadn't been working. So I mean, I don't really know what all the drama is. All I know is we got to try something new. So I guess that puts me in like that Wirt 2024 type, 2025 type court. That's who I'm voting for. That's who's on my side.
I like the drama. I don't want to choose a commissioner because I kind of like the ongoing fight for it. So I think we just continue that all year.
Honestly, man, our league is just a shit show, like all the time. Like we can't execute a punishment. We can't decide on a rule. We can't vote on a rule. When we do vote on a rule, nobody remembers like what we decided for the rule. And now like we're out here at the draft saying like, oh, no waivers till a week before playoffs. And we've got people picking people up off the waivers like left and right. So like, honestly, it's just a shit show all the time. I don't even know what more there is to say about it.
I think that we always value Paul for his humility and dignity and all these things. But I also, I kind of see what some of the other people are saying. We don't know if they're playing like family ball, like between him and Luke. Seems like some of the rules kind of come out of the blue, or things that we had agreed upon before aren't really, kept consistently. So I do think Wirt could do some good things. My only worry about Wirt is that he too could become a tyrant. The guy is from the Bahamas, where I think Wirt wishes they had a dictator, and he kind of grew up seeing himself in that dictator role, and I think he would potentially do that in our league.
Wirt 2025. Paul, when are you going to debate me? I mean, I'm here, I'm open, I'm asking for it. The media's running cover for Paul. I mean, we haven't heard anything from Paul. No hard questions being asked. This is a man that took a perfectly functioning league and he's run it into the ground. We're paying $20 for wings. We have no rules. We can't even get working internet. I mean, come on, dude. Like, we could meet at a Starbucks and have all that sorted out. Let's have a debate. I'll come down to center. I'll do it on Paul's home turf. Don't care. He's got to defend himself. The media's got to stop hiding this guy. Get him out of the basement. Let's do this thing. Wirt 2025.
I think this is very one-sided. There's one person spilling a lot of lies, fear-mongering, and a lot of scare tactics with our league. With that said, I have one question for you. Do you want someone who's weak leading this league? 135 net work.
So, there it was.
What a video.
Yeah. Thank you guys for everyone that submitted a video.
Yep.
We really appreciate that. And to those who didn't, yeah, pretty much. So, we didn't really get to talk about worst best as well. So we wanted to kind of talk about ours. The video had a trend with worst. Mm-hmm. I think I might have to follow that.
Me too.
Colby, 2-time, and it was last year, but like we talked about before, you year to year, anything can happen. So
yeah, Colby's maybe the most volatile in our league.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like 100%.
He could just crush a draft, and then he can have down moments. Like I think he's a little down. I think he's down bad right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't, keeper choice. I didn't love it. I think that ended up backfiring on him. The Kittle one. Yeah. And then, obviously I love CD. I like that one.
I think he got CD maybe for saved a little bit of money there. Maybe. Just the way the wide receivers are going. But Kittle was not
a great one. But I think I agree I think Sean brought a good point. Do I think Colby's going to be last? No. I think he is going to grind.
Yeah.
You know
he
what
works
I mean?
that waiver wire.
He's felt how losing feels. Like he knows it. And so he doesn't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So he's going to stay up all night. He's going to set his alarm for 3 a.m. So when the waiver wire opens on Wednesday mornings, pick up those free guys that no one picked up.
Yep.
I mean, Colby's a grinder. I think Colby will get himself out of last. Okay. But right now he is. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is close to him right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think the 3 tight end strat that Cody employed is still.
Hey, let's talk about that for a second.
It's still better.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Cody may have just found the meta.
I mean, he picked the 3 best tight ends.
3 best tight ends. And now, like he said in his video, everybody, he can have access to any player. Anyone he wants. And I believe him. I bet you 10 people have probably already
I've sent so many trades to him.
I've sent 2 of them trying to get a tight end off of him.
And I don't think I think I'll end up having to trade like my running back 1 just to get his tight end 3.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. He might break me down. I hope not. But best player, I mean, like you said, you're just on paper. If you had to play the championship today, it's you.
Okay.
Now again, it's kind of like the same thing with Colby. Like, because you're so top heavy,
Yeah.
injuries, you could have some issues there. But
Right.
like right now, I think you have the best team.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from my co-author over here, my co-pilot. We're co-pilots together. I would say I have a top team. Just to give a counter, I'm going to go. I haven't looked at teams enough, but I'm going to say Paul. I think he's just got a good team.
Okay.
He had 2 good keepers in Amon Ra and whoever the other one was, Pacheco. And then he drafted, he's got a good team.
Yeah, he picked up Tyreek Hill, which I kind of left out parts in the video.
I got Tyreek Hill.
Oh, you got Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, no, I'm sorry, not Tyreek. Waddle. He got Waddle, and a few people said they wanted Waddle like players they wish they could have had. So Waddle, and I wanted Waddle. I think he was a great pick, even at the price that he was got. But Paul had so much money at that time, he was able to get him, kind of beat everybody.
He's got depth. That's the thing. I think he could sustain an injury and he'd be okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Commissioner Drama.
Commissioner John, we got to get to it. Everybody's been wanting us to talk about it.
Yeah.
We've been trying to stay impartial, and we're going to try to stay impartial here.
Absolutely.
Words come at us a little bit.
He has.
He said that we're clowning for Paul. We're protecting him, hiding him in a little cage back there. He's a little puppet.
Listen here. Fortune favors the bald, strives to be unbiased, and we are going to present league news as they are.
Yes.
Factual.
We won't change a thing.
We won't change a thing. So, if you don't know, it's Wirt and Paul. So Paul is the current commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
So he's being challenged by Wirt for next year to be commissioner. So Wirt's running this platform of he wants recorded rules, which kind of surprised we don't have. And make sure that we kind of almost keep minutes at these things, so that way we know what's going on. And it's a great platform. I think he's got some great points there.
I think he kind of comes off Trumpish a little bit, where he's just. I could see him coming off as dictator. But
look, hold on just a second.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're getting word. Sorry. So this. We're getting kind of cut off second. So we do have a sponsor for this. It's new for this year. So we have to run an ad real quick. We'll be right back.
See you in a second.
The League of Legends. As I drove to work today, watching the sunrise and thinking about all the great things that we've accomplished, I have to think back on Jared and Colby winning the league twice. Cody, now the 2-time loser, bringing Cole into this great league and all that he's brought. The punishments that we've accomplished, ACT, paintball, the photo shoot for the calendar. Shout out to Trenton. We'd love to see that calendar. And now the cage, and looking at what we are going to accomplish in the years ahead. But most importantly, the family and friendship that we have created. But all that's attempted to be destroyed with the fear-mongering that Matthew Wirt is spewing, and this cannot be tolerated. As your commissioner, I've fearlessly led us through tumultuous times. For example, the guy that never spoke, I can't even remember his name, he never said a word. Wirt leaving the league and then trying to come back successfully. Ham, need I say more? I've been here for you all through the birth of your first children, to weddings, to the punishments. I've always put the league first. Can Matthew Wirt say the same? 3 questions I'll leave you. Can you trust a man who is from the Bahamas? Can you trust a man who eats McDonald's with his shirt off? And can you trust a man who left this league and not without even a goodbye and only to come crawling back? As your commissioner, I will never leave you. Soul 2025.
Sorry about that. So we had to run that ad real quick. This ain't free.
Right, boys. I mean, something's got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ad a little bit.
Okay.
Did you think he went a little too far with the Hitler pose at the end?
Well, I mean, you kind of heard JT mention it earlier in the video.
He did.
Wirt kind of being, almost wanting a dictator role, and as a league member, I don't want to be oppressed under a dictatorship.
Yep.
I do kind of like the free market approach that we have.
Right.
Now I like I said, I would like to see some more structure, some rule, some better defined rules. But I don't know if I don't know if a full Third Reich's the answer.
That's the thing. I think we all know that there needs to be some changes. I think here at the pod, we don't know when is too far. You know what I mean? Does Wirt take it too far, or is Paul too lax?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because Paul's got his negatives here. He's, Wirt demanding. He's just going to tell you how it is. He's going to rule with iron fist. Paul, pretty passive here. He's like, what? However you feel. Oh, does it make you feel sad? Well, we won't do it then.
Yeah.
So
we need an RFK.
We need somebody to meet in the middle. Maybe if we could put them as co-leaders.
Ooh.
And then I doubt that'd work, but maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great point. It's been several times where we've pretty much every draft. It's well, didn't we decide on this? Well, I thought we decided on this. Well, it's like we need to have some structure, but at the same time, again, we don't want to be, I don't want him work to put all of our league fees into GME and then and we tank.
Yeah, right.
So I think there's a middle point, a middle
ground.
ground.
Sing the national, like Bahamas national anthem before we get started on the draft, and
I start calling everybody soldier.
So,
hey, soldier. So I think the middle ground.
We just gotta find the middle,
exactly,
wherever that is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, any lasting thoughts about last year? I mean, anything we want to talk about this year? Hey, league members, we love that you're here.
Absolutely.
Love that you're hanging out with us. But if there's things that segments that you think we could add on, things like that, we're always willing. We're wanting to learn. Trent's been grinding. I mean, if you've seen how smooth these transitions are, how great the production is right now, the lighting we're using, I mean, we're glowing right now. Content, we're always looking for content.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you've got something, bring it to us. Okay.
Absolutely.
The worst thing that can happen is we say no.
Yeah. And then roast you later.
On the pod. Yeah. But we might say yes, then we'd give you credit.
Absolutely. So, but no, we appreciate it. We love this league. We can't wait to get another season going. I have a lot of good players that I could trade. So if you want to make any trades, just send them my way. I'm ready to start that.
And I was going to talk. I'll just say it. I'm going to gas this up a little bit. I thought 2 years ago our league was going like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The pod.
Even with Cody not doing his punishments.
We are literally saving the league right now.
Yeah.
But for real, I'm glad to be here. I love it. I love hanging out with you guys and us just shooting it. Having fun.
Well, good. Well, we probably will not do it next week.
Yeah, probably wait one more week. Kind of create more content.
Get some ideas going. We'll start back, of course, when season 1 when we got some predictions.
I can't wait
for the first week of football. Everybody's excited.
I've been looking forward to football, no doubt. But I've been looking forward to more.
What's that?
Jared's weekly calls.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait to hear Jared's list. What is he gonna roast people on this week?
Exactly.
Who's the best at this? Like, I know Jared, I've talked to Jared, and he has been grinding this offseason, trying to critique how he lists. He's trying to, the categories we're doing. Like, he has been meticulous about this thing. He's got some great content for us this year. I'm really, really excited for the rest of the league to hear it.
That's good. Yeah. Look, that's all we can do is to try to get better every day, whether it's making the podcast, going to, production wise, or just behind the scenes like Jared's doing, trying to get better at delivering his portion of it. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
We're excited for that. Cole, we appreciate you. And when you joined a few years back, that probably was a big portion of that. Now I will say, Cole,
boost.
As a hype man, is one of the best hype men I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh!
And he's he's top notch ad.
Yeah.
And that's big for the league. So.
Yep.
I think that should be it from here.
Should wrap up the show. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. And just hit us up if you have any ideas, anything you want to see, and we'll be happy to help. So
all right, FFTB out.